Morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, we've moved up, we're getting to the higher tiers. These tanks, I mean, a little bit exciting, but they're not exciting. The higher tanks, the higher tiers, we go up. So the lowest DPM tank in tier 9, of course, is the tank with that reverse shell, because the reverse shell really makes the DPM bad. You have to, if you're playing this tank, you really have to try to not use that last shell. If you use that last shell, then if you don't use that last shell, then the DPM does become a little bit better. But we're just going by the standard DPM, what it says on the book, basically. So the CC1 Mark II, the tier 9 Italian tank destroyer, the newer tank destroyers on the block. But what is the tank like? Now, we've been talking about DPM. Is it good? Is it bad for these certain tanks? Now, something like the CC1 Mark II, I don't really rate too much, considering how good the tier 9 is, the tier 8 is, and considering how good the tier 10 is. The tier 9, yeah, not great. Not great. But then again, the tier 8 isn't great using the reverse shell. If you use the single shotgun, it becomes a fantastic tank. You don't have that option with the tier 9. You have to use that auto loader or auto reloader. So standard, it's got a nice turret, very nice turret, and the hull isn't too bad. But it just, on paper, the stats don't feel that great in the battlefield. I mean, considering the tier 8 and the tier 10 are really, really good. And of course, we will look at the tier 10 very, very soon. But yeah, overall, I don't really rate the tier 9, if I'm honest. Yes, it's got a nice turret. Yes, it's got a nice hull. But, you know, tier 10, switch to premium rounds. A lot of tier 10s will get through the turret standard 265. They'll just about get through the turret with their standard shell. Of course, if they switch to premium rounds, they're going to get 300 millimeters plus of penetration, and they will go through it like butter. Of course, there's still going to be some weak points depending on your angles, etc., and the effective armor. But the same as the hull, 245, even mediums will just about get through that with their standard rounds. So the DPM, 1603. Yes, 1603. Very, 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 very low. But of course, that is with you using it, using that reverse shell, that last shell, which has a mega long reload. So the reload time between each shot is 3.53 seconds. The auto loading, so the first shell, as we can see, is 21 seconds. So if you use that last shell, you've got to wait almost 22 seconds, actually a bit longer, because 21.73. So that is a long time to wait just to reload one shell. If it was to reload your whole magazine, then yeah, it's not bad, but you got to remember that is only to reload one shell. So very, very bad. And you literally, unless you can kill someone with that last shell, I would recommend not to use that shell at all. The second shell is 11.7 seconds, but of course you got to remember, you've got to add these 3.53 intraclip seconds onto that as well. And if you just use the first shell, it is 10 seconds plus the intraclip, so that isn't too bad. So that's really how you want to play it. Shoot one, reload, and only shoot the two if you have to, and only shoot the third one if you really have to. Of course, only 3 shells in the magazine. Penetration 272 on your AP, 359 on your heat, and 72 on your HE. You've got a 450 alpha on your AP, 390 on your heat, and a nice 640 on the HE. Aim time, not great at 4.5, and the gun dispersion 0.53. Not bad, but not great. It has a very, very nice 13 degrees of gun depression. So with that gun depression, you can potentially make that armor profile on the turret work. And the top speed is 35 kilometers per hour. So yeah, stat-wise, doesn't look great, but it just doesn't feel that great in the battlefield. So, of course, it's one of those tanks that does perform a lot better when you are up against tier 8s. But I mean, I'm probably not angling correctly, I don't know, but it just feels the armor profile for me just doesn't really work as good as it should. But some people, of course, are going to love the tank. You know, they are going to love the tank. The line itself is not a bad line, but I would just wish, you know, that was a nice shot from me. I'm not going to lie, that was a nice shot from me. So again, we've got that one shell reloaded, and then we just got to wait, and that's the boring part, and that's what people don't want to do. They don't want to be patient, and they just don't want to wait, because sometimes there's shots out there. You know, sometimes there's a shot right in front of you, but you can't take that shot, because you know if you take that shot, you are going to be waiting a very, very long time to shoot again. So we're in now a position, I mean, we can use the gun depression. There is the Object 704, and you can see he is firing just HE at me. I do have to apologise. There's a plane right above my freaking car that is making so much noise. So another thing with the tank that people have to remember, because of the reverse shell, you have to remember the first shell. And what I mean by that, there is so many times that people will forget. They will see the shell is reloaded and they will just shoot. So that is what you've got to bear in mind. You've got to remember that this tank is the auto reloading with the reverse shell. So you've got to remember that. That is very, 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 very important that you do remember that, because there is times that you do forget. You know, there is times that you think, oh, I've got a shell, you're just going to shoot. But yeah, you just need to try and hold that last shell as much as you possibly can. Again, if you can take the shot, then and take the kill, then yeah, it was definitely worth doing. Like now, for example, if I can take the shot on the Baltic, I will take it. But now I have 2 shells reloaded. I'm going to get that shot off, and it does clear a tank. And if I can now clear another tank with this one shell, I will do that. And it just means that I have to wait 20 seconds. But of course, it is much better if you do reload all 3 shells and just shoot one at a time. So here, what I've also got a habit of is waiting for the reload to get to like 0.3, then accidentally shooting, and then 0.3 seconds, and because of that you have to wait an extremely long time. So silly me here, I do get myself unfortunately stuck. So yeah, I'm not able to get a lot of damage into this guy, and in fact I missed the kill, but you know, it's still okay. Even though it's got the lowest DPM, you can still build up that damage. And again, just because it's got the lowest DPM doesn't mean that it is an awful tank, and it doesn't mean that you cannot perform well in this tank. So this next game, we are up against tier 10. So as I said at the start, it is one of those tanks that does perform a lot better. Now, tier 9 is my favourite tier, because most of the tier 9s can hold their own against tier 10. And when they're up against tier 9s, they are, when they're up against tier 8s, they are even better. So you can see here, like, this was annoying. That's Sheridan. I'm not going to blame him, because he was going out the way. He didn't block me on purpose, but you wait so long to reload that second shot, and I really wanted to take the shot on the grill, but I just couldn't, and I didn't want to use that first shell. Unfortunately for me, I reload the second shell, take the shot, and as I take it, the Sheridan freaking gets in my way. But it's not his fault, it's not my fault, it just happens to be unfortunate. So a lot of people at that point will actually completely rage, absolutely rage. I mean, I'm not a rager anyway, and it's definitely, it wasn't anyone's fault. So I'm now pushing forward. I don't know why I'm pushing so far forward. The team are there. I think the only reason I'm pushing forward is because my team are all behind me, and I can actually side scrape along this building, and we can actually get some block damage. So ideally, I want to be reloading 3 shells. And again, this is the annoying thing. I really want to take the shot. The guy is just sitting there, but I cannot take that shot because I don't want to be reloading all this time. And as it happens, like, I'm always having a shot available, so I don't want to reload that 3rd shell, because I might not have that shot by the time I've reloaded the 3rd shell. So currently I'm keeping the last shell, and I'm just reloading the 2nd shell, and every time I reload, then I take that shot. So here, I mean, again, we don't reload. We could wait, to be honest. He could have been taken out. We could have actually waited, but no, we got greedy and we took him out instead. So now there is just 3 tanks left alive. The VK-72 there, the Tortoise, and another light tank. Unfortunate bounce there, and again, I'm going to ignore that guy, and I'm now at that position where do I take the shot or do I wait? Because I'm sitting right in front of this guy, right in front, and there is nothing I can do. But you can see when you're angling, you can get the bounces. So this time I'm going to take the shot. Why am I going to take the shot? Because there is no other enemy tank around me, apart from this VK who is a one shot, but you know, that is when I decided to take the shot. So you have to play it, you know, it depends. Just look around. Do you need to take the shot? Do you have to take the shot, or is it worth taking the shot? If it's worth taking the shot, then you should think about taking the shot. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. The CC1 Mark II isn't the best of tanks. The armor profile can work, but on most occasions for me, it doesn't work as much as I hope. But we actually bounced quite a bit this game. So let me know your thoughts on the tank below in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Tomorrow we will look at the tier 10. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With